Hi, my name is Ashley, and this is my Tableau presentation. Now, here we have some data, and this is the data that was collected for 3 rounds, round one, round two, and round three. We have our company names, and then we have the respective information for each company. And in order to pull information from this data, we are going to use visual analytics by means of our sheets. And we're going to ask ourselves some questions so that we're able to fully understand what is being done. So we're going to first start off with sheet one. And we are going to name this sheet revenue versus profits. Or we can say sales versus profit. All right. So this is revenue versus profit. And we may be wondering, why are we doing sales versus profit? Well, the sale is the total amount of income generated by the sale of a good, by the sale of our goods. While the profit is the amount of money that we have remaining after we have deducted the expenses, the debt, and the operating costs. And this is very important information for a company when they're seeing how well they actually did. So let's take a look at my company, Andrew. So we see here where we made $139,284 in sales, but then our profit was $4,000. Again, we see where we made $149,000, but our profit was a negative, which goes back to what I said, that you can make money from sales, but when we deduct our operating costs and all of that expenses, we do have a negative. And it shows here where this right here in round three, where we made the sales $143,000, but we still had a profit, a loss basically. And it's so funny because in round one we had $139,000 and we made a profit, but here or in round three, our sales did increase, but we still had a loss. So between round one and round two or three, maybe our operating cost increased, maybe our debt increased, something happened so that even though when we generated additional sales, we still were losing money. Let's move on to sheet two. Now in sheet two, we are going to be taking a look at the return on assets versus asset turnover. And why are we looking at that? The difference between ROA and asset turnover is that ROA considers a net income, while asset turnover considers revenue. So we see here where the asset turnover, which considers or revenue, is at 3.340, while our rate of while ROA is at a negative, or return, even though our asset turnover is high, quote unquote, we were still having a negative return on our assets. Let's take a look at Baldwin, where Baldwin had a lower asset turnover than us, but their ROA was still positive. Okay. So let's take a look at sheet three, where we're taking a look at contribution margin versus the EBIT. Some persons call the EBIT the operating income. We're just going to use EBIT. So the contribution margin is basically revenues minus variable costs and expenses. And this is important to know because by means of the contribution margin, we can also locate the break-even point. The operating income, the EBIT, is the net income before interest, gain or loss, and so forth is applied. Now let's take a look at this. So our cumulative profit is 13,000, while our contribution margin is 0.8. Let's take a look at Garrett, which is very good. Their contribution margin is 1.242 and their cumulative profit is 40,000. So we see here, just by means of looking at this data and asking ourselves valuable questions such as, what is my sales versus profit? What is my return of assets versus asset turnover? We're able to pull valuable data. Thank you.